right? So it's very important that you take importance, or you give importance to the relevance and the accuracy of the questions that you are going to ask. Now the decisions in questionnaire design, right? Which means that what should be asked, how the questions should be phrased, in what sequences they should be arranged, what is the layout that is going to serve the objectives, and how it should be pre-tested, or does it need to be revised. So you see, these are the 5 considerations. It's not just important that you know the questions. Are you asking correct questions? Are the wordings right? Right? Is the layout right? Should you ask something before and after? And the most important is that, do you need to pre-test your questionnaire? Sometimes you need to pre-test your questionnaire because knowing what a small group of people think about your questionnaire will give you a lot of insights that are very, very important when you're trying to think how to proceed with a uh, question survey. Because sometimes the pretest will tell you that questions are too lengthy. Sometimes pretest will tell you that questions are too convoluted, questions are very complex, or questions are not seems to be what they are asking, right? So you have to take all these precautions when you are designing your question.
So what is the meaning of layout in here?
भास्कर,
बोल दे भास्कर,
भास्कर,
आज ही
तू
कॉल है।
तूने
हाँ
अलीवर
श्योर
से पहले
श्योर।
ज्वाइन कर लिया?
So I guess the internet was disconnected, so we'll start from, yeah. So we were talking about this. When we talk about questionnaire design, we should talk about the relevancy also. Whatever we are going to ask, are we really focusing those questions on that? Or are we thinking of asking something and we are ultimately asking something else? And this happens a lot of time. You should be knowing that, reliability and validity of your questions are very, very important. Reliability, suppose samajh mein aa gaya, right? Reliability we have already discussed, where we have talked about how consistent your measuring instruments are very important, which means that time and again, if you administer the same question in similar sets or similar environment, you are going to get the similar results. So that's very important. Also, it should be validated, which means that it should ask the question with which it is, designed. It should not be invalidated, which means, suppose I want to know about consumer um, buying pattern, and I am asking about, consumers brand recall. So buying pattern and brand recall are different, which means that I should not be, confusing these two. Last important thing is that wording and sequencing are very, very important. If the wording and sequencing are, not taken care of, many a times consumer start, getting confused why they are asking the same question again and again. One of the important aspects that we talked about in last class was reverse questions, which means that the questions that you are getting and the survey, they have both different connotations or 180-degree opposite connotations. In a question where I am talking about, let's say, punctuality, I was saying that, I am usually late to the class. So they are 180-degree opposite. in a questionnaire where I have to measure the brand loyalty. I'm talking about how disloyal, or if I ask a question that I do not like buying same products again and again. So what I'm doing, I'm reverse coding the question so that I know that, you know, uh, respondents are not only reading the question, but they are also answering it in a very, very, scientific and systematic way, right? So let's start with what we call as a open-ended question. Open-ended question का क्या मतलब होता है? Anyone? Open-ended questions.
So you ask
must-
the respondents to answer in their own words.
Own words. So there will not be any alternatives, right? And please raise your hand, otherwise I can't see who is talking, right? So please raise your hand so we will have a discussion. So open-ended question basically means that you give a free choice to the consumers to answer their questions. So if I say, what is your opinion of, let's say, IPL? What is your opinion of, let's say, Indigo Airlines? These are open-ended questions where you have to type your own words. What could be the benefit? Why do we ask such questions?
So then the customer can tell about the.
Yeah. So we'll start with Khushbu. Go ahead.
Yes, so in open-ended question, if we ask the question like, how did you feel about the service, then the customer can tell that what they felt was the problem and how could they expect it to improve the next time. So these can be taken up by the management to improve their performance.
Okay, so for feedback, it is important that you ask the open-ended. Very good. Avik?
Yes, sir. From in the open-ended question, what we get is that we get to know the actual response from the customers or the person who is responding, the responder. We get to know the actual response from them. Sometimes in the if we give any options, the options may not be accurate enough to take the right decision.
Okay, very good. So options might not capture the entire range of answers that might come, right? So what is the first point that is written? If it is an exploratory kind of research, you even don't know what answers or what alternatives to have. Okay, very good. I see Tarini. Tarini, go ahead.
Sir, open-ended questions will help to know that how much a consumer is actually interested in the organization or he is how much into the survey. If he doesn't answer it well, we can know that the person is not so much interested.
भास्कर क्या बोला?
भास्कर का मुंह नहीं हिल रहा।
मार दे इसलिए मार दे आज।
भास्कर तू अटक गया है बे।
भास्कर कहाँ गया तू?
जानबूझ के किया है, अटक नहीं है।
वो खुद भी अटक गया है ना।
Okay, I think because of the rain, there might be interruptions in the internet, so you have to bear with it.
Yes,
We
sir.
were talking with Tarini, right? Tarini, are you here?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So go ahead.
Sir, I
The
forgot.
advantage of, yeah. Advantage of
Yes, sir.
open-ended.
In open-ended question, we can recognize that how much a consumer is actually interested with the survey or how much he is interested in the organization. If he doesn't answer the questions well, so we can know that he has answered it in a like in one go. If one consumer is very much interested and is a regular customer, he would definitely answer the open-ended questions in a very descriptive way, in a very informative way.
Okay, so you are telling that in a way it can tell you, or it helps you gauge the interest of the respondents. If they are interested, they would give a good answer. If not, then you might not get it.
Yes,
Right?
sir. Yes, sir.
I think one more hand was there, Itisri Prushti.
Sir, in open-ended questionnaire, we also get detailed information about the question.
Yes, but okay. So detailed one means that you are giving all the options. I can't see your video. I hope you have not switched it off. Basically, like we have talked, open-ended questions are exploratory, where you are not sure what to ask, how to ask, what would be the relevant objectives, or what would be the relevant alternatives which can be given to the consumer. In that situation, it's very, very important that you ask open-ended questions. What is a fixed alternative question that most of you get? You get 4 options, and then you try to take the one which suits best to you. So questions in which respondents are given specific limited alternatives are the ones which are closest to their viewpoint, right? Advantage is very simple. It will take less time. It is easier to analyze, provides comparability of the answer. So you can really compare because they have the fixed alternatives. Disadvantage is that you sometimes will find consumers who will take the convenient alternative rather than giving their true opinion, right? And that's a very, very big disadvantage. If you end up with such convenient alternatives, you might not be able to gauge the true intention of the consumers, right? So it's important that you understand the, I will say, disadvantage which such fixed alternative questions give to you. What are the type of fixed alternative questions? There could be the first one, which is called simple dichotomy questions. Dichotomy matlab there could be 2 aspects. One is yes and one is no, right? So questions which require your yes or no, such as you are a frequent buyer of Coca-Cola, yes or no. You watch 9 p.m. news religiously, yes or no. So these are the questions which need just yes or no answer, and they are called simple dichotomous questions. Then you have questions which try to find out from A, B, C, or for example, which is your favorite cold drink brand, or which of the following airlines you prefer most for traveling. They also try to ask frequency determination, like what is the frequency of shampoo that you use in a week? What is the frequency of you eating pizza in a month? What is the frequency of your blah, blah, blah. So basically they are asking for the occurrence of whether something occurs, and if that occurs, what is the frequency of occurrence. And the last one is called the checklist question, which means that you are given a simple checklist. So for example, they would say that if you're going on a, let's say, trip to a beach, what are the following, what are some of the important things that you'd pack in your travel bag? Or what are the kind of magazines that you'd buy on an airport? Or what are the things of, what are the souvenirs you'd want to buy on a traveling, trip? So these are some of the questions, checklist questions. Yes, Ashish, you can ask your question.
Sir, the close-ended question or the fixed alternative same? Both are same.
Close-ended, yeah. So it means that you are closing in a way a consumer can, or a customer or a respondent can answer. So it is fixed,
Yes,
or close-ended are same.
Same. So when we are giving our opinion in rating basis, so is it also a close-ended questionnaire, right?
Yeah, because you don't have to write anything. You don't have to do anything. What you have to do, you are given a scale, and in that scale, you have to, tell how do you feel or what do you feel. So it is a close-ended. Open-ended means you have to give your words, statements, and everything. भास्कर हो गया? बाल ठीक हो गया तुम्हारा? स्क्रीन को मिरर की तरह यूज कर रहे हो? वेरी गुड, कीप इट अप.
इमेज कॉन्शियस सर.
हाँ, इमेज कॉन्शियस कंज्यूमर. क्लास में भी थोड़ा ध्यान देना, ठीक है? ओके. मिरर नहीं है? वेरी सैड. ओके, जब तुम्हारा बर्थडे आएगा तो बोलना, we'll all gift you a mirror.
Sir, I have a doubt, sir. Sir,
Yes.
in questions where we have both options and there is a blank also called if any, so that will be open-ended or a closed-ended, sir?
Those are mixed type of questions. So maybe they ask you to say first, second, third option and not, then you can write your own. So those are mixed type of questions. Okay,
That is
so
the third kind of question, sir.
yeah, but वो बहुत कम होता है. Basically, when we think of question and design, यही दो आते हैं that are rare, but yeah, these are there. So they will ask you what kind of shampoo you use. So they will say Clinic Plus Head and Shoulders, or and then you might have to write your own brand that you're writing. So yeah, so that could happen, but these are rare.
So sometimes the question asks that like if your answer is yes, then describe it. If the answer is no, then no need to say anything. But if your answer is yes, you have to write. So it also
These are mixed kind of. Okay, so now we have got onto the influences of question phrasing, but before that, right? Let us. Okay, here. So this is very simple. I just wanted to say that questionnaires for telephone or personal should be written in a conversational style. It should be written in a conversational style. Should not be question answer form. Questions for mail, internet should be less complex than used in personal interview because people are reading it themselves. So you should be able to make sure that people do not get confused, right? So the questions are which are self-administered, which you administer them, which you expect them to answer by reading themselves, has to be simple. Should not be very much complex. Whereas where you are talking and you are asking, face to face, then it has to be conversational style. See, the same question, if you have to mail it to somebody, this is the type of question you have to ask if you are asking in a survey, which is self-administered. It should be simple, right? It should be simple. Whereas if you're talking to someone, right? If you are calling someone and you can ask in a conversational style, how satisfied are you with your community? Would you say that you are very satisfied, somewhat satisfied, neither satisfied nor dissatisfied? And please give your rating based on these 5 words. So for very satisfied, something like that. So it has to be more of a conversational style. So you can see a clear difference into the way it has been arranged, right? These are some of the, I will say, questions guideline that you must follow. Read these questions, and if you have doubt, these are very self-explanatory. Read these questions. If you have doubt, you can ask these questions to me later on also. For example, avoid burdensome questions that may tax respondents' memory, right? Which you can say, when was the last time that you were in Goa, that you were eating in a food which had a brand which was poster on your food? Can you remember the color of that poster? It's very taxing and nobody is going to know, right? So don't ask such very taxing questions. During your childhood, when you used to go on a festival, what kind of the brand that you used to use with your siblings? Very, very contextual and very specific. So unless you have a very, very specific need for asking such questions, avoid the questions that are going to tax the memory, right? वो बहुत important है. Okay, what are double-barreled questions? Anyone? What are double-barreled questions? Okay, hold on to this thought, double barrel questions. We will tackle it towards the end of the class. But keep on thinking about it, or maybe think during the break that I give you. What are double barrel questions? You understand the difference between leading question and loaded question? Leading question and loaded question?
No, sir. No, sir. Can you
No,
just
sir.
Okay, we'll go through that. Okay, read this question. Do you think it is doing a good job of avoiding ambiguity? And raise your hands.
Sir, you are mute.
Yeah, I am not mute. I was talking to someone. So ऐसे करके you have to raise your hand so that we can discuss. Take 2 or 3 minutes. Think it through. Take 3 minutes. Okay. I'll have some water. I'll come back. Then we'll discuss. Also, there is one more question. Okay. What is wrong with this question? Read this. What major influences? What most influences your vote in a major election? My own informed opinion. Major media outlets such as CNN, newspaper endorsements, popular celebrity opinion, candidates' physical attractiveness, family or friends, video advertising, or others. What is wrong with this? Okay, we have one hand, some more hands. Think of what would you actually pick up and why? Okay. Okay, let us ask Aliva, go ahead.
Sir, I think sir, the candidate's physical attractiveness is not the right option in this question. That should not be there. So the rest question can be like taken into account, but the candidate's physical attractiveness will not influence a vote for elections.
It does, Aliva, it does. Why do you think a lot of movie stars who have no political background win for the first time? Any election you pick up, there will be a lot of candidates who are movie stars and without any political work experience, they win. And many people say that, you know, we like, let's say, you know, I think some star, I don't want to take name, we like such and such stars because of their looks and they give them the vote. So it happens. Some of the presidents of US have been previous film actors, right? So hota hai, all over the world people choose candidates based on attractiveness. But good attempt. Let us go to Anirban.
So I think there is a redundancy because the first option says my own informed opinion, and my own informed opinion can be made from all the other for below options. So I think that
So
there is a
that
redundancy.
yeah. So you are saying it's redundant, okay? Okay. So that can be one of the things, but there is also something more specific. You are correct. but partially. Let us go to Avik.
Yes, I think it is a bit confusing because influence, when something influences you, all of the thing has its own part in influencing a vote. So you cannot identify which is the most, which has a major role in influencing. I think it's very confusing.
It is confusing, okay, ambiguous hai thoda, but there still, I will say, there are some factors which affect you more than others. To the extent you are saying it is ambiguous, agreed, but that is not the biggest problem here. Okay, but good. Arpan?
So in my point of view, family and friends, because they are the closest one among all the options here, and they can in your thought process, they can play a vital role.
Okay, but you are telling what you think is the correct answer. I am telling what's wrong with the question, the framing, the structure. So that's the question. Okay. Okay. We'll ask Sharda.
Sir, I think the first question, my own informed opinion, that will be when we are asking a customer about their opinion. So, I think this will not be a valid question to ask, like how it will influence their opinion about the vote.
Okay, so what's wrong with asking that? अगर ये पूछेंगे तो क्या होगा?
Sir, if someone is convinced with something, means about giving vote to someone, so I don't think any external thing will affect.
Yes, and there will be no reason of asking other options.
There are no reason of
everyone is-
asking other, and more than that, like redundancy is there, वो है, but उससे more important problem है कि all the people would want to say the first question. It was actually done. The survey question was there, and it was found that 80% or 90% of the people chose first option. Because everybody wants to come as an informed voter. Even if you are not an informed voter, why would you say that you are not informed voter? So it's a leading question. Okay. So I was asking about what is a leading question, what is a loaded question. So it's a leading question. For example, if you ask, what is your hygiene activity, how hygienic you are, or what is your hygienic activity every day? Do you think people will, confess that we are not hygienic? Or if you ask, what is the frequency of bath that you take every day? Most of the people will say that, we take bath every day, right? So that's the first question that should be there. So these are different kinds of different kind of questions that people get, right? So do not ask questions which have a very obvious answer. Nobody is going to say we don't take bath every day. Nobody will say that we don't brush every day, right? So you have to ask certain other questions. If you want to know whether people are brushing every day or not, you ask what is the amount of money they spend on toothpaste, or how many toothpaste they buy every month. So that will have a certain frequency. Okay, so people are reluctant to say. That's a leading question. Read this. What is wrong with it? There's something very, very wrong. Okay, we see some hands. Okay, we'll go with Suneet. Go ahead, Suneet.
Yes, sir. Sir, I think it's a loaded question because people have to think hard because how it affect their clothes in the 4 years. So it is just means putting a lot of complex in the process, thinking process of the customer or respondent.
Okay. So you are saying that it is confusing the respondents.
Yes, sir. So you
Okay,
think,
okay.
forcing them to think hard. Or
Forcing them to think hard. Okay, so you are saying you are taxing. You are taxing the consumer.
yes, sir.
Okay. Anirban,
Sir, the time frame is too long, sir. Means who remembers 4 years ago what happened? So the time frame is
valid point. So okay. But there's something even more wrong than that. A week.
In the very first sentence is leading the customers. Like many people are using dry cleaning less because of it's already telling. So and no one remembers what happened 4 years earlier. So I don't think it's the right question, sir.
Yes, because then you are kind of affecting how the consumer is going or how
Answer
the
should be.
respondent is going to answer. Very. So it's a kind of loaded question, or you are leading that person to think in a certain way. तुमने already उसको कुछ facts दे दिए. For example, if you ask, many people are switching to fruit and vegetable based diet because of the health considerations. People are getting more and more healthy. Now, what has been your consumption of fruits and vegetables? Obviously, people will say that it has increased because they have been influenced by the first statement that many people have switched to, let's say, fruits and vegetables for a healthy diet. Or you will say that many people have started taking their physical activity seriously in order to get fit. Now, how much do you work out or how much do you do physical activity in a week? Obviously, people are going to say, something which is not true because they have been influenced by the first, statement which says ki more and more people are doing this. So in a way, it's not capturing this, correct, correct understanding of consumer's mind. You are influencing him or her, right? So these are the kinds of leading and loaded questions that you should avoid. Okay, what I'm going to do, this is the question that you asked our sample. Discuss if the question is able to avoid the ambiguity or not. Okay, so I'll give you 2-3 minutes. Think about it. We'll discuss after that. Okay, I'll have some water. You also stay hydrated. We'll come after 3 minutes. Tell me if you find the question to be ambiguous or not. Raise your hands. Okay, few more hands. Okay, we'll start. Okay, with Aritra. Go ahead.
So, according to me, this question is avoiding ambiguity at its best because it is trying to be as specific as it should be with its consumers. Like, what type of fan are they? Die hard or a avid fan, casual fan. So, I think it is avoiding ambiguity to its best level.
Okay, okay. Anirban, go ahead.
yes, sir. I believe that it is avoiding ambiguity because it is to the point and specific and clearly avoiding the confusion among the respondees.
Sunit,
Yes, sir. I think the question is avoiding ambiguity because it is be specific and you cannot have several interpretation of this fact or data.
okay, okay. different sports and sports program. What if I just watch one sport? So suppose if I'm just interested in tennis, right? So watch games. So is it for a range of, let's say, is it for a range of games, or I am just asking about a single game? Can that be an ambiguity? Suppose I'm just interested in lawn tennis, and if that is the only thing that I follow up, will I be happy with this question, or will I ask a follow-up questions?
So
Yes, sir,
follow-up
happy.
question.
You will need
Not
a follow-up
interested.
questions, right? Because to be different
Yes, sir.
sports and sports programs. So maybe it can be one or more than one, right? So for that, you need to have that clarity. Other than that, other than if you sort that out, whether it is one match or whether it is one sports or multiple sports, then other than that, it's pretty much avoiding ambiguity, right? So yeah, that was the only ambiguous thing that I could think of. Okay, let us move forward. We have done these 3 questions. Yeah, when you're trying to think of various kinds of, let's say, questionnaire design, try to think from this perspective. What is the order bias that you're going to get when you're trying to so earlier questions or the question that come beforehand in your survey should not influence the later on questions. For example, if you have already said that earlier that eating non-veg food leads to unhealthy people or unhealthy lifestyle, if you ask later on, do you eat non-veg food, many people will say no, because you have already primed them. Funnel technique is when you are asking questions before a specific question in order to obtain unbiased opinion. So first you will ask, do you like visiting certain places? Then you will say, when you visit certain places, do you like doing certain things? When you do certain things, then do you like certain sports activities? So you are funneling, right? You are taking a very, very general population, and then you are asking questions which will give you a funneled kind of response, which means as you go ahead in the question, the number of specific respondents will also decrease. Filter question are also something similar, which says that, did you go to, let's say, Goa last year? If yes or no. If no, then you have to ask certain kind of question. If yes, you have to ask certain kind of questions. And pivot questions are also similar, which means that the question asked will determine which version of second question will be asked, right? So filter questions are not qualified to answer the second question. So pivot questions are a kind of filter questions. So not to be confused between those two. Yeah, Aliva.
Sir, order bias questions can be related, means is it similar with that leading questions? Means first.
Leading question it is about the alternatives that you get in that question, whereas order bias is about the whole questionnaire, right? So questionnaire mein agar pehle hi you ask such questions which make people feel in a certain way, and then you ask, so for example, if you talk about, are you aware that climate change is going to increase the water level of earth by this, you have asked something about climate change, that it is bad for us. And then later on, if you ask, do you follow these activities which can, reverse climate change? Most of people will say, yes, they are doing, even if they are not doing, because तुमने पहले ही prime कर दिया है through other questions, right? So that is called order bias. Or suppose you are trying to find about, which political party you are going to vote for. So पहले ही you have, given certain impression about certain political parties. Then people will avoid, showing that they have affinity to that party. So order bias is about the different questions in which they are arranged in a questionnaire, whereas the leading questions have to do with the different alternatives within a single question. So that is the difference. This is a very, yes, Shraddha? No, sorry, Sharda.
Sir, in funnel technique, we means after getting response from the customer, then we create the questionnaire.
No, we create the questionnaire first only. So for example, if you are a let's say cosmetic company which is doing pop-up store in a mall, right? So you will ask all the customers around the mall that, did you visit mall? Yes or no? Did you visit second floor? Yes or no? Did you notice our, pop-up store of this cosmetic? Yes or no? If you notice, did you go and, used or sampled our cosmetics? इसमें क्या हो रहा है? You are funneling, right? You are asking more and more people about a specific question. So you don't have to, ask beforehand. You can give it to everybody, and then you can, find out what is the actual percentage of people that visited to your pop-up malls, pop-up in a mall store. How many people actually visited that floor? How many people actually visited that mall? So it need not be, screened beforehand. The screening can be done after the answers have been taken also.
Yes.
Okay, so now what we will do, we have talked about this. This is how you ask, or this is how you. So suppose if you are doing, questionnaire design for whether people were able to see, let's say Tang. Tang is a brand, Tang used just like Rasna, right? So you dissolve in water and then you can have a drink, right? So it has, aired certain commercial between 7 to 10 p.m. on television, right? So this is how you make a questionnaire, whether to, ask or not. And इसमें देखो, these are the question. The first is called the screening question. ये पहला screening question है. अगर no, तो इसको tabulate or terminate कर दो. If yes, then again this, or no, then this. So this is, pivot question. This is screening question. This is pivot question. Then again, this is screening question. Then this is pivot question, right? So देखो how things are going on. Screening question में yes or no के में we terminate. Pivot question में we ask yes or no, and then we give two different questions, right? So this is a pivot question. This is a screening question. Okay. So give it 1 minute. Give this slide a minute. See the flow line. Okay. There are different layouts for questionnaire that we are not going to discuss, because simply, these are very self-explanatory. So वो हो जाएगा. Graphical interviews of software and layout issues are also very self-explanatory. Push bar button ये सब हम कर रखा है. Drop down button ये सब कर रखा है. These are very easy. I will be sharing this with you. Yeah. I wanted to talk about something very important, which is called process of pre-testing, right? So pre-testing में क्या करते हैं? Before you use any survey, you take a small number of people. Let's say it's 5 people, even 10 people, and unme you give and test whether the questionnaire that you have given, is it making any sense to them? Are they able to answer it or not? Do they understand the questions? Is it too lengthy for them? Is it too small for them? So these are the certain things or aspects that you need to think about. Before we, go, this is important. We have talked about different barriers of, questionnaire design. What are the improvements? What are the precautions you should take? So what we are going to do, we are going to do a small exercise. I think half an hour is left. So we'll do a small exercise. I'll give you a questionnaire. You have to, so before you design a questionnaire, you also have to think as a respondent. So put on your respondent cap and try to answer questions to the best of your abilities. These are the questions which are related to your academic life, right? Academic life, which means your class environment and how do you perceive this. There are some questions which will have math problem. When you come across those words as math problem, think of it as quantitative, heavy subjects such as corporate finance or whatever, right? And try to think in that way. When you are done with this questionnaire, you have to, write a 1-page report where you will have to give these points. What could be 5 points of improvement with respect to questionnaire design? What precautions can be taken? And what is your overall, analysis of data collection, right? So पहले questionnaire को करेंगे fill, and then I'll give you this, and I'll also give you a link post class where you have to submit this, right? Questions will also be posted to your email, so don't worry. First, with a very calm and cool mind, try to answer the questions. Please read the questions. I've also reverse coded some of the questions, which means that the questions mean what opposite of what I'm measuring. If you're not really reading the questions, you will get those questions wrong, and then I can detect you, right? Also tell me where are the reverse coded questions you get. Okay, so tell me where are the reverse coded questions you get. So other than that, nothing to worry. Let's start with the questionnaire. In your chat box, right? I am typing the link. Make sure you are logged into your KSOM ID, okay? And then you try to answer this. I will also be scrolling it with you so that you don't, hurry and answer this. And then we will together finish this exercise.